Hi again. My name is Rebel and I'm the Rebel Reseller. And today I'm doing my what sold for last week, Monday through Thursday, which was July 24th through the 27th. Had 2 good days, had 2 bad days. It's just part of the game. I'm content with the sales that I am getting. I've been selling some high dollar stuff. A ton, y'all, a ton of my low dollar stuff that's been listed longer than, well, that were listed before January of this year. I've mentioned this several times. In June, I decided to drop all the prices by 10% of anything that was listed before January. I checked a couple of days ago. I've sold 600 of those items. 600. And, well, basically, I took the whole month of June. Every time that I did an end and sell similar, which is every day, anything that had been listed before January, I just went ahead and dropped the prices permanently by 10%. So 600 of those items. Basically, however long it took me to get them done in June, and then all of July, 600. So I'm moving stuff, and that was the goal. I was tired of stuff just sitting. So it had to go because I've got 5 duns to get listed. I'm going to do a kind of a little public service announcement because it happened to Robert and I twice this week. Make sure you're very careful about incoming texts. I had a text that came in saying something about Instacart. Somebody was trying to get into my Instacart, or I needed to renew. I don't remember exactly. I don't use Instacart, so I just ignored it. But then, like the next day, Robert got a text saying that our Netflix account was expiring and it needed to be renewed. Well, it actually was. We ended our Netflix account, and so, but he knew enough to go and check the link that was in the text, and it was not legit. So just be careful when you're getting any kind of message, whether it's through your text or through email. Don't click on links. Don't. Go to directly to wherever it is that they're saying something has an issue, and change it that way. Fix it, whether it's PayPal or any of those companies. Don't do it through a text or a Gmail. So that's my public service announcement. All right, this next week is Flipcon, y'all. Flipcon, I am so excited. We're leaving Wednesday morning. I think we're going to stop in Asheville at the Bins on the way, and then just kind of get there and start hitting some of the thrifts in the Charlotte area. And then I think there's like a meet and greet later that afternoon at the hotel. So I'm so excited. All right, let's get to this. I just came back from the gym. I'm loving it, except for this. I had sales on all 4 of my platforms. Small one on Mercari. This is a Boyd's Joel Beersley Brown Bear Plush. Old listing. I got a $6 offer. Make it gone. I think I made $4 and something. It was probably a bins pickup. So, maybe $1, but it's gone. It's gone. And then on Poshmark, this is a Morning Sun shirt. Just kind of had that little graphic here on the neck. Sold for $17. It's been listed a really, really long time. I think the first year that we started listing clothes, which we're like 2.5 years in. And then a Kelly Toy Elephant Plush sold for $22. And then look at this. Look at this sale. Embrace Nylon Alligator. It was 31 inches long from 1991. Sold on Poshmark for $75. I was thrilled. And then on Etsy, had a single sale. Applause Sad Sam 12-inch plush. I think this came from that estate sale that we got to do the private pick at. So it was one of those plush. It had its original paper tag still. $39.95. Now eBay. JCPenney Brown Bear. I got a $20 offer on this. This was one of those listings that's been probably 2 years, sold for $20. If you're new to my channel, I do not do free shipping. So when I say it sold for $20, the buyer also paid shipping. Russ Jarvis Pink Rabbit from 1975. It was one of those weighted, but it almost felt like sand weighted. Sold for $9. I'm taking reasonable offers. I am. I want this stuff moving. I probably paid a quarter, maybe 50 cents, or it was a bins pickup. I love picking up the vintage plush at the bins. I'm saving them from the landfill, but I'm good with $9. Capilano Canada coffee cup mug. I pick up tons of coffee mugs, especially anything that looks vintage. I sell, a couple a month, but usually they're decent sales. I pick them up for like a quarter or 50 cents, and this one sold for $16.12. Levi's 505 men's jeans sold for $15.01. Build-A-Bear, Purina, it must have been some kind of collaboration. Kitty cat named Ducatty, 12-inch, sold for $14.54. I still have 2 available of those. Bras. I don't normally pick them up. For some reason, and I can't even remember, this was listed back in May. I picked up several. And I think this is the second one I've sold. It is an Olga brand women's bra, sold for $15. Little People. This probably was in the stuff that I purchased at the Highway 127 sale last year. These all had significant wear, discolorations. The stickers had issues. I just decided to lot the 3 of the minibuses together, and they sold for $10.45. Don't be afraid to list stuff that's not perfect. It still sells. It may not sell for as much as something that isn't damaged, but it's still going to sell. A lot of people, like with the Little People stuff, they mod them. They do stuff with them, so they don't care what the condition is as long as it's not broken. This is a Lauren Conrad women's shirt. This too was listed a long time ago. I got a $9 offer, and it's gone. This is Santa Claus figure, 6-inch. I think this was in the box lots of Christmas stuff that I picked up at an estate sale last year, I believe. We bought just a bunch. I want to say I paid like $15 and $20 for just boxes of vintage stuff. This Santa was 6 inches. He sold for $15. I love, other than my vintage toys, vintage Christmas is like my second favorite thing to list and look for. Robert picked this up at, it was it was kind of an estate sale, but it was kind of a personal sale, and it really wasn't in a house that anybody lived in. They just brought stuff to the house. I think we paid $1 for them. They are 2 of a set of 6, like CDs that made Halloween sounds. They sold for $9. Columbia Super Bahama men's shirt sold for $14.50. I've been selling a lot of clothes, but I have been listing more. Not as much as like toys, but I try to list several a day. This is a viewer sale, so thank you so much, Stacy. Stacy saw when I hit the button on this and showed it in one of my haul videos. It's a Jimmy Duck Sings Freebird, and it sold for $11.66. Fisher-Price Geotrax. We were at the St. Louis Bins in December, and there were tons of Geotrax, and Robert decided that we were just going to go ahead. He started picking up some from another part of the bins, and then he showed me what was in the cart, and I had been kind of passing it by, and then we just decided, let's just go ahead and get it all. I tend to put them in small lots, like this was a set of 19 different tracks. Easy to add on, or it could be an initial starter set for, you know, a child that's just getting into GeoTracks. These sold for $22.45. Jim Shore candle warmer. I'm pretty sure I picked this up at T&N Picker's yard sale. It sold for $14. Toys R Us, Sleepy Tan Bear, kind of dressed up in pink, had the lovey, sold for $8. Lion King, I think I just talked about these in a haul. I had found another loosey-goosey one from the bins and had mentioned that these had just sold. This was a set of 3. Make sure if you've got the space when you're listing these types of little figures, use the word cake topper also. It sold for $8.25. Oneida. These have been listed a couple of months. One of them was damaged, and I got an offer for $9.25, so I just went ahead and accepted it. This was from the flea market that we went to with my son and his family when we were up visiting in May in Rochester. This was an Invader Zim Alien Grr plush from 2002. I paid $1 for it. $1. And it sold for $76. But I know I sent that offer. So I'm doing very well sending offers all day long. I probably send 70 to 100 offers every day. And a lot of them turn into sales. So, you know, give it a try. Don't hold them. Don't save them up, because you just never know when that person that just watched your item gets an offer and they're like, oh yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and grab it now. So send your offers. Levi's $5.50 women's vintage jeans they had made in the USA, sold for $35.71. Applause Lion King Simba plush. Y'all, I had just inventoried that tote and it sold. I really think that if you do something to your listings, it just kind of bumps it up in the algorithm. And I'm selling a lot of stuff because we are currently doing an inventory. This sold for $12.07. Disney Mulan Warrior Bean. They don't sell well apart individually. So a lot of times with the Disney Bean plush, I tend to try to put them in lots from the same movie. I'm not going to mix and match, but probably these came from the bins and they finally sold for $12.07. Build-A-Bear Pug plush with the wedding dress on sold for $13.69. Most Build-A-Bear is bread and butter. There are exceptions, so definitely check your comps, because I've sold some for $80, $90, $100, but for the most part, again, this has been listed a couple of years. Just did an inventory on that shelf. This is a Flavor Seal by Corey stainless steel domed poacher, sold for $23.41. All right, y'all, I'm back. Technical difficulties. All of a sudden, my screens just started refreshing. And I lost anything that had sold that wasn't the price that was on the screen. I lost all of that and had to redo it. All right, let's get through this before it does it again. All right, this is a Little Tikes yellow coffee pot. It went to one of the kitchen centers. I picked up 3 of these at a churchyard sale. I paid $1 each. I've sold 2 of them. This is the second one to sell. $26.95. Y'all, the vintage Little Tikes kitchen stuff does amazing, but I very, very seldom find it. All right, airy women's denim shorts, distressed, cutoffs. All of that was shown in the pictures. Sold for $9, best offer. Paris Blues. These are from 2 years ago. Also, not a brand I recommend to pick up because it took forever and finally sold at $8. Okie dokie baby swaddles. Y'all, this was in a tote that I just finished inventorying and it sold for $12.07. I don't normally pick up these types of baby blankets, but it was Okie dokie, which is a brand I do like, but it's probably not something that I'm going to pick up anymore. I think there's so many baby blankets out there. Now, let me tell you, if it's Baby Morgan, yes. Just picked this up at an estate sale. I want to say I paid $1, maybe $2 for it. It is called The New Fun with Dick and Jane from 1956, sold for $18. We picked these up at a yard sale right down the road from our house. They were Gotham Majorette boots. I want to say we paid like $4 for them. They were in their original box and they sold for $45. Dolly musical baby mobile for a crib. It played Somebody Loves You. It worked. And I did include the original box. I think this was an international sale and it sold for $40.41. These sold the same day I listed them. So then your mind says, you know, was it the right buyer at the right time or did I underprice? I don't know. I had these bags of Legos. I don't remember where we picked them up. We paid a couple of dollars for each bag and I pulled all the minifigures out and sorted them by, you know, what they were. These were from the Legends of Chima, I don't know. They sold same day I listed them for $24.95. Toadfish snapback hat. This is something Robert picked up. Sold relatively quickly for $12, best offer. I think I picked this up at Tea and Picker's yard sale. This is a Dracula vampire plush from International Silver Company. It is one of those nylon plush. Sold very quickly for $10. Care Bears, Cousins, Braveheart Lion. This is one of the newer ones from 2016. Sold same day I listed it for $14.95. Hallmark Dayspring Shepherd plush. There was a time these sold very well for me, like 15, 20 bucks, but they just have gone down. This one finally sold on an offer of $8. This is Applause Little Beggar Kitten. I've had the dogs before, but I had never had the cat. It sold pretty quickly for $19.76. This was one of those plush that was on the side. I had this pile of my one touches that I looked at it, I set it down. I look at it, I set it down, and I move on to something that's easier to list or more interesting to list. And finally the other day I told myself I'm going to deal with the one touches. They're either going in a bag to be redonated or given away, which is what I've been doing, or I just need to list it. And sure enough, I listed this and it sold within a couple of days very quickly for $8. Sweetie Pie Kids Alicia doll. It was very cute. I thought it would sell for more, but it had been listed for quite a while. I got a $10 offer, which I accepted. Montgomery Mustache Bear. I had 2 of these, and it's funny, they've probably both sold within the last couple of months after being listed again for quite a while. Sold for $10.45. This is from that Terradrome. I've been selling pretty consistently all the parts that I listed. I think I'm going to list the big base though, is going to be something Robert's going to have to pack for me because it's huge. But I think we can get like $150 just for the bare base with everything taken off of it. But this is one of the Rampart panels, sold for $13.45. I think I just shipped 2 more of them this, like yesterday or today. Commonwealth Bear Plush 12-inch, sold for $8.83. Mary Meyer, I like that brand. Unicorns don't sell very well in any brand, it seems, but I still pick them up because I think they're adorable. Sold for $9.95. And my best sale, which I wanted to keep so badly and put on my wall, but I didn't. This too came from the flea market that I went to in Rochester. So, you know, one item sold for 70 something, and then this item sold for $80.96. It is a Fisher-Price Rumples. Actually, the dark bears are one of the hardest ones to find. This one did have a little bit of condition issues, but still sold. I think I listed it back in May or June, so sold very quickly, $80.96. Good sales, good sales. This week has been, again, still ups and downs. I had 2 really slow days earlier this week, and then yesterday, probably the best day I've had this entire month, or in the last 30 days. Can't say this month because this month just started. So it's just, for me, historically, August is when things start picking up for me. People are starting to consider Christmas and just holiday shopping. So I tend to start seeing an upswing in sales. So I'm ready. Come on, buyers. All right, y'all, get to work.